Ready to continue on with Vanderbilt. We'll ask Coach Stackhouse for his general thoughts on the game. Then we'll take your questions just for the two student athletes and then excuse them and finish up with Coach. So, Coach, would you begin?
Well, I thought that was a great game. Our guys really competed. I mean, no more than these two right here. Ezra played this game like it was his last game, and ever. And I love the way he competed. And all of our guys, our young guys, I thought they really did a great job. But we knew we got a lead in the first half, and we knew this was a very dangerous team, and they showed it in the second half. I thought we played the percentages in some situations, and then they stepped up and made them. I thought Brazil made some big shots for him. Devo Davis, not known as a outside shooter, he made 2 threes when we went to that zone to try to keep him on the perimeter a little bit more. But they just stepped up and made plays. But they got a little separation. We kept battling, and then in the overtime, they made a few more plays than we did. But very proud of our group. We had, other than Ezra, probably we played freshmen and sophomores probably almost 100 minutes tonight, and so we feel good about those guys, their potential. But I'm really thankful for what this kid has given us over these last couple seasons, and he's just got a bright future ahead of him going forward.
All right, we'll take questions for either of the student athletes. If you'll raise your hand, we'll get one of the remote mics to you, and please direct your question to a specific player. Let's start on the right on the second row.
Ezra, with that being your last college basketball game, how do you reflect on your time playing college basketball and your time here as a whole?
Yeah, it's been a blessing. Honestly, I just thank God that I'm able to, have the opportunity to be able to play basketball. I was able to play healthy, little injuries here and there, but, I played 5 seasons pretty healthy. I'm just blessed to be able to, play basketball with these guys. I think, that's been the most important thing for me is just these relationships. And, I've had, the time of my life in these last 5 years, and especially these last 2, I'm thankful for Coach Stack bringing me here and, allowing me to, showcase my talents on the big stage. So.
All right, next question right here in the front. Come right in the front, and then we'll come to you in the center.
Ezra, you guys were down 8 with 2 minutes to go. What did it take to claw back into the game, and how personally did you take that comeback effort?
Yeah, I mean, I knew my teammates were going to fight. We've been down in games before. We were just down in Florida. We came back and won. So, I knew the guys was going to fight, and we were going to put ourselves in position to win that game. And, for me personally, like Coach Stack said, I just was playing it like it was my last basketball game ever. And so, just trying to leave it all out there. These guys deserve it. All the seniors deserve it. To go out with a bang. And so, I just kind of, just took it a little personal and was like, let's go get this win. So, that's basically it. And these guys were a huge part. Vin, he's been a beast this last stretch, getting healthy and everything. He has a bright future. And so does all the other young guys. Like Coach Stack said, we had a young group out there. And so, they're bright. Their future is bright. So I'm pretty excited for them.
Okay, next question in the center aisle.
Ezra, similar question, but could you walk us through kind of the emotions and that moment where you did sink that shot to send it into overtime and kind of the ebbs and flows of the emotions following that through overtime?
Yeah, I mean, the shot was big. Obviously, I hit a big floater to send us into overtime, but Malik Presley and Tyron Lawrence with the good press and the hands, being handsy and being able to get that steal was the biggest thing. Malik had a big steal at the end of the game, and so as much as that shot was huge, everything that led up to that was even bigger. So credit to those guys.
Got time for one more question for either of the student athletes. Let's go to the second row on the left.
Yeah, Ven, having transferred in here, how do you view your first season with Vanderbilt, and how do you view working with Stackhouse, and do you think that he should remain the coach here?
Yeah, I definitely believe that he should remain the coach here. the way he's been coaching, he's been incredible. He got skills, he got knowledge of the game to disperse it among us. It's been a pleasure playing for him. I'm always grateful, for this opportunity that God brought me here because, it was a journey. From last year to this year, and I really appreciate him for trusting me. I really appreciate him for putting his all in me and to these guys, to this team. And I definitely believe that if he comes back next year, we'll definitely be better.
All right, we'll excuse the student athletes. You guys can return to the locker room. Thank you. Go that way. All right, we'll continue on with Coach Stackhouse. If you'll raise your hand, we'll get one of the remote mics to you. Let's go on the far right in the back.
Coach, have you been given any assurances by your athletic director that you will return next season?
No, we're going to sit down and talk after the season like we always do. I think it's obviously it's been a long season, not the season that we hoped for. But again, I'm so proud of my guys, so proud of how they competed and how they've grown. But we understand that this is it's a results business, and the results hadn't been there. Obviously, there's some context behind those results, but at the end of the day, I understand that. And so we have to take accountability for that. We'll sit down and we'll discuss that, and we'll figure out the best way going forward.
Next question on the right, second row.
Obviously, you mentioned the season hasn't gone the way that you would have hoped. Do you feel there's anywhere you went wrong or would have changed if you could go back?
I'm able to play Malik Presley and J.Q. Roberts a little bit more earlier, but no, they weren't ready then. But they've gotten better and they developed and they've shown and they turned into starters at the end of the season. Again, there's a lot of context. It's not context. We're losing a player who was a starter for us last year with Achilles. Lee Dort, our biggest player, forced a bunch of guys to play out of position. But again, that's context. All that matters is results, and the results weren't what they were supposed to be. So you have to, dissect that and figure out what's next.
Other questions? Raise your hand. All right, let's go to the second row on the left.
Yeah, if you are to remain the coach here, what steps do you think you would need to take to make sure that these results, like what happened this year, don't happen again?
Well, I think there's a lot of things that could happen, man. There's a lot that goes in college basketball. It's changing landscaping, and the approach to college basketball has changed a lot, from the time that we started. When we first started here, we thought that just getting on par with the other schools, having the facilities and things like that would help. Now that's not enough. It's now, it used to be where you could go and you make all the calls, you go and show kids as much interest as you can and do all those type things. Now you got to reach out to their agents. You know what I'm saying? That's where it is. I mean, in order to really get in the door, and you got to have the NIL. That's a big part of it, and you have to be a player in that. And quite frankly, we hadn't been a big player in that yet. So those are the things that have to become a part of it. I mean, I love the way that we built it, though. I mean, I felt like we're going to be, ahead of the game. Vanderbilt's going to be ahead of the game because we're doing it with the right kids. We're doing it we built it with, freshmen. We built it with development, and that's how we'll, continue to do it. And, whether I'm here or not, I think that's the thing. I mean, these kids came here, and if I'm not here, I would, hope that they would be, because this is it's about this university. It's about getting a first class, a world class education, and I would, never hope that anybody had what I had coming in here with a, quite, pretty bare cupboard, and having to try to go out and find, this and that and the other. But I just think that this is a great nucleus of young guys that has a really bright future. And when things kind of balance out, when the dust settles with the COVID years and the NIL, it's going to come back to high school kids. Nobody's talking about high school kids right now. Everybody wants to get older. But I think once that kind of, again, the dust settles on that, the teams that decided to still invest in younger guys and invest in development will be the ones that win out.
Have time for a couple more, anybody? All right, let's go to the left-hand side on the aisle.
Yeah, Jerry, Bob Holt, Arkansas Democrat. Sorry, I was in their locker room, but I was wondering what you thought. Caleb Battle kind of took over for an overtime. I know you were scoring your day. Just wondering what you thought of his. I think he scored 7 in OT, got downhill a lot. What'd you think of his performance?
Yeah, I mean, he's a tough cover, man. I think we had, he probably had 35 on us a few weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? We had no answer for him. I mean, luckily he had a slow start in the first half, and that's why we were able to get some separation. But he showed in the second half exactly what he's capable of, and he made plays, made jump shots. But again, I really don't think that he was the key. The key that beat us tonight was, I think Brazil. And those guys that we wanted to, bait into taking some shots, and he stepped up and made them. He was 3 for 6 from 3. Like I said, Devo Davis was 2 for 3. That's where the game was right there. But definitely in that overtime, Khalif got downhill, and he's a tough cover getting downhill.
We're going to take 2 more far right, and then we'll come to you in the center.
Yeah, Stack, have you enjoyed this job the last 5 years?
I love my job. I love coaching. I love teaching kids. I enjoy the basketball part of it. I think early on, we all have some mess ups. I probably messed up a little bit early on. I guess one of the things going back to the beginning, with the streak, which was a huge part of the fan lore here, and I guess I maybe said something after that game that maybe rubbed some people the wrong way, but I just think it was, and then people didn't get to know me. I mean, they just saw from a few clips and didn't get a chance to see, who I am, see Jerry Stackhouse. They didn't get, all they saw is the big black guy that came from the NBA, right? And then I think that's, that wears the suits, right? And they don't really know the context of why I wear these suits. Well, I wear these suits because when y'all going to church on Easter Sunday, you know what I'm saying? If you ever done that, any of y'all know that. My mama used to, try to put suits on layaway, for us to go to church. And one time she didn't have the money to get that suit off of layaway, and I saw that disappointment in her. So that's why I wear these suits, because of my mama, for the time that she couldn't see me in that suit that she had on layaway, she gonna see me in a suit every day. She turned 95 yesterday, and she can barely see, but when she look up at the TV, she gonna see me in this suit. So it's just like things like that that people, just again come. It's just, I think it was just some type of bias from guys that come from the NBA. I mean, that's always been a little bit of noise there. But I just think when people if you really get to know me, you understand who I am. That I cut my own grass. I do. I'm probably a lot more like you than you would think. But I just from the stature of where I come from, because I had a career before I got to Vanderbilt. That's a lot of people. That's all that they saw, and they didn't really take a chance to get to know me. And and maybe that's where the disconnect was with some fans are different that. But for me, the basketball has always been the solace and what I love to do and I love to teach.
Okay, we'll take the last question in the center aisle.
To follow up on that, Coach, in your 5 years here, do you feel like the city and this community has given you enough time and the chance to get to know you and why you wear the suits that you do and why you dress up the way that you do? Do you think you've been given a good enough chance?
Well, no, I mean, I think there's always context in that. Yeah, when you look at everything that has happened over there, we've lost. If you wanted to take a deep dive in just the games missed from key people that we were counting on over this last 5 years, it's a nightmare, right? And then we still found a way to continue to battle. And I know, the NCAA tournament is the ultimate goal, right? And we haven't done that, and I haven't done that, and I no matter what, those results are those results. And we got close last year. I'm probably the same, people that sit here and say that we never had made a tournament in 5 years. Those are the same people that was raising hell because we thought we were snubbed last year. But that's a part of the battle that you deal with, and that's part of being with coaching. But I think it's just being here. It's been a great experience. I'm so thankful for this opportunity. You know, I mean, I came in here with an opportunity to grow. I never been a head coach other than, in the G League. I never been a college coach before, so I had an opportunity to come in here and grow with some people. Obviously, Malcolm Turner brought me here, and obviously when he left, Candace just picked up and our relationship just grew because she was growing in her role, and I was growing in our role. So it was just like, man, we're built for this. No matter what was thrown at us, we're going to keep battling and we're going to keep going at it. But at the end of the day, the results aren't there. So again, we'll sit down and we'll make make those decisions and see where we go from here. But nothing's going to change with me. I mean, again, just getting to know me. I mean, I've had a job since I was 9 years old. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I used to go to work with my daddy cutting trees, doing bricklaying. I'm a worker. You know what I'm saying? So I had a work permit when I was 14 so I could work early. So a job ain't never been my problem. So I'm thankful for this one. If I'm here and able to continue on with it, I'm going to give it 100%. If not, I'm going to be thankful for every moment that I've been here and use all of the experiences that I've had, all the great people that I've worked with to try to help me in whatever situation I am going forward.
Thank you.